The second presentation of this session is by Dr. Achala Munikal. A brief profile, I'm reading about Dr. Achala Munikal. Dr. Achala Munikal is currently working in the University College of Law, Osmania University, as assistant professor and assistant librarian. She has experience of over 20 plus years working in various industries, verticals such as University Library, College of Library, Library of Deemed University, auditing film, electronic database publisher, residential school, library as well as freelancing. She is an avid networker and connects with the people on various social media. She is passionate about giving back to the community and volunteers on many library information sciences related projects. She loves traveling and experiencing new cultures and meeting new people. Thank you. Please go ahead.
So good morning everyone. Hi, good morning. Okay, I hope all of you had breakfast. You did? No? I mean, it's really wonderful to be here out on the dais seeing all faces, because post-pandemic, I was doing a lot of online sessions and I couldn't see people's expressions, whether they understood it, they didn't understand it. I mean, it was a little challenging. As all you teachers are, I understand most of you are from B.Ed, right? And you are all faculty. So all of you may have faced the same challenge that I am facing, right? So in terms of this, before starting off, I would like to thank Professor Mrunalini ma'am for inviting here so that I can meet all of you people here, and hopefully my session will be of some use to you. I don't know, you all may be having varying degrees of understanding of OERs. That's my topic of today. How you should go about it, what it entails. Like most of us tend to have general ideas. So I will be speaking a little in depth. I don't know what all was covered till now, although I checked the topics. GB Reddy sir already covered a little of IPR and copyright. I'll be giving a different perspective with regards to how it will be implemented in OERs, hopefully, right? So here on the screen you can see my email ID. So if anyone's interested to stay connected with me even after the session, most welcome. And if you have any doubts or any questions regarding this, most welcome to connect back with me. So yeah, since we'll be talking about OERs, OERs is the abbreviation of Open Educational Resources. I'm sure all of you are aware of it. So why are we here? You are here as faculty, I'm here as a librarian. So what are both our roles in regards to OERs? The first thing is we are trying as faculty to create a lot of OERs. We need to understand what goes into making a OER and how it should, the ethical process of it, so that people not only from our own institution but all over the world can benefit. Earlier on, it was like I have bought out this coursework or this material, this is mine, right? So that's the copyright we are talking about. This belongs to me. I am the owner of this. But now what we are trying to do, we are trying to say that, yes, this is mine, but I don't mind sharing it with you. So if I'm sharing it with you, I will not give you completely, I will give you a part of it. I want you to benefit, I want me also to benefit. So this is the crux of the issue. So when you're creating, how do you create? And what kind of licenses or the rights you would like to give the people whom you want to share it with, right? Once you create it, probably you may be finding material on the internet which you found very, very relevant, very, very apt to what you want to share. So probably you would like to use theirs. So here you don't want to give away your intellectual property, but you are ready to take someone else's intellectual property, sometimes with attribution, sometimes without attribution. So this is not correct. So as teachers, as faculty, we are supposed to know the ethical way of doing research and also publishing. So when you are saying all these terms, you need to understand the full import of the terminology we are using. So what does it mean? And not only creating and reusing, you are going to update the OERs also, because of emerging technologies, there's a lot of changes nowadays. So when there are a lot of changes, whatever course material you prepared earlier may not be so relevant now, or may not be on the compatible software or the device. Like earlier on, they made in microfiche in libraries. I don't know whether most of you may be aware of this also or not, because when I go to students and I say, floppy disk, they all give me very blank stares, because most of them have not seen it. So I don't know how many of you have seen microfiche. So if you are created probably a course material on microfiche, you may not be able to retrieve it now. You may be able to retrieve it at your home because you have a microfilm reader, but that may not be possible with the user you are giving that material. So the person will look left and right, up and down, and say, okay, I can't use this because I don't have a reader. Earlier on we had CD-ROM drives, now we don't. So where do you put the CD? You have to buy a separate CD-ROM drive, because my laptop right now doesn't have a CD drive. So if I want to see any photos, anything that I have saved earlier, I don't know how to do it. So I need to go to a vendor to be able to retrieve that for me. Although it is there, information is there, it's not corrupted, I can't retrieve. So here we are talking about n number of things. So all this understanding is needed from your end as faculty, because you are very adept at preparing a lot of course material, course content, educational content as we call it. But what about finding it, searching for it, retrieving it, locating it? Because you go to Google, you put a couple of words, what happens? You get billions of results. What will you do in that? How many of you go to the 10th page? 5th page? Few of them are lifting, the rest of them, are still undecided whether I have the energy to lift my hand up, should I be interactive? It's quite boring. So what we need to be, if you also are slightly interactive, you give me feedback regarding probably something you have faced while you are teaching. It will help me and also the fellow participants. So hope you'll be interactive in the coming session. So yeah, as I was saying, although most of the faculty may be adept at creating OERs, at reusing OERs, at updating OERs, but they may not be able to locate a few of the important resources, the latest resources, or some historically relevant resources which you may not be able to get by yourself. So here a librarian is the one who comes in. Mostly, they say librarians say shh in the library, they don't talk, they are not helpful. But nowadays librarians also are attending a number of seminars like this. They are updating themselves, they are quite adept at giving a lot of literacy sessions on n number of topics. I myself give on plagiarism, on social media, not how to waste time but how to use it for research purposes. And each of my sessions is in slots of 3 hours and 6 hours. So covering all that, in this short period of time is a little challenging, but I will try. So when I was saying, librarians, you should learn to approach your librarian who's there in your college, and for some reason they are not very helpful. You can approach any librarian in any university, any institution, they will not say no to you. I mean, I have people coming to me and saying, ma'am, can you retrieve this particular paper from a particular thing, because for my research I need it, I'm unable to get it because I need to do my literature review, I need to do my PhD or whatever it is. So when they say that, I help them retrieve even though I don't know them at all. Yeah, most of them I have not seen also, I have met them only virtually. So this happens sometimes with librarians. So librarians help you not only in searching and locating, they try to make a database of stuff, they try to list out, catalog, classify, probably all the STEM related resources in one place, and social sciences and arts in one place. So all this will help the faculty and the users, that is the students and research scholars, also go to that material and be able to use and reuse them. So after this, they are technically doing what? They're creating an ecosystem, and here we're talking about the OER ecosystem, wherein it helps not only in listing them, cataloging and classifying, but also in discovering them, to retrieve them, right? Knowing what are there. and using by the users. Of course, the users are not only faculty but research scholars as well as students. And what are they doing? They are also archiving it, meaning they are preserving it for the future so that the future generation can access it. Like students come and go every year, right? So as new year students keep coming, they help updating the relevant information. And they come to a lot of training sessions like the ones like these. We go to a lot of HRDCs wherein we give sessions and stuff like that. I go to schools, colleges and all that. So we are doing a lot of these awareness and literacy sessions. So what is the future we are seeing? All of us as teachers. We are seeing it as, what is the future of learning? We are seeing a lot of robotics, application of emerging technologies, artificial intelligence. All of you may have heard or read or discussed about ChatGPT. Then you're talking about ethics. When all these things come in, you are talking about the ethical aspect of it. Earlier on, people said that, what is ethics? I mean, it is not that important. We are all ethical people. We will never infringe. But there are such finer aspects of doing research, publishing, writing, creating, that you need to understand the implications of this. So when we talk of this future of learning, we are talking about what? We are talking about robots in classes. So very soon you may not be having proper full-time teachers, but recruitment's already down, all of us know. So who knows, they may be getting robots into the colleges, universities and schools. Already schools have implemented it. Kendriya Vidyalaya, they have implemented Shalu Madam. So Shalu Ma'am comes to the class, takes the class, talks to the students and leaves after the class. And here you have one teacher for math, one teacher for science, one for social sciences. You don't need all this. One robot can fulfill all the teachers' roles. So the recruitment, and you don't even need to pay the robot, right? There's only maintenance required. And here for each individual teacher, you have to pay UGC scales. So institutions also may think, so if you're not up to the mark, like if you think, I'm about to retire, I don't need to update and upgrade myself, it is okay. Like nothing will happen, all my seniors did the same thing, I'm not going to do I'm going to do the same thing, so it will not matter. But now it is not possible, it does matter. People will not keep you if you don't update yourself, if you don't pick up the necessary skills to do your work. And the more and more technology is being used. Yes, there are after effects of the technology. Like earlier on, we didn't do online sessions. I only came to the class and took the sessions. But now we are doing so many online sessions. Because of that, there's so much online time that my number of my glasses has gone up. Right? There's a lot of eye strain. There's a lot of back pain because of the way I'm sitting, the way I'm doing work. Because I'm online most of the time, I'm not having time to go and exercise as regularly as I'm supposed to do or as I like. So what is happening is there are a number of health problems that are cropping up because of all these technologies. So how do we optimally use all this? Also keep our health as well as stay relevant. So you don't need to be a master of all and try to super exceed everyone's expectations. You don't even need to do chalo, kaam chalate hain. Right? It's not that. It is that you prepare yourself in such a way that you cater to the end user who's your student. Right? So that thereby remaining relevant to whatever is your work sphere. So here Shalu Madam, who's in kurta pajama, I don't know whether you noticed or not, with a dupatta over her head, very traditional because she teaches in Kendriya Vidyalaya. Here you see Eagle Ma'am, quite modern. She's in Indus School and she teaches a lot of subjects to the students in Indus School. 21 robots are deployed across India in Indus schools. So all these are taking a lot of classes. So when I check the price of a robot humanoid teacher, it is said that it is around less than 2 lakhs. Yeah, so how much will maintenance be? Even it will not be a lakh also. So just imagine the implication of it on all of us, on each of us. Now coming to the chat bot. How many of you are already aware of this GPT chat? Did any of you go and try to talk with it, give prompts? You all did? Did you all find it fun? Yes. Even before all of you tried to approach it, your students were already smart with being on board with it and trying to give a lot of relevant prompts. There's a way of giving prompts because you're new to that, you don't know how it will react, and here I don't know how many of you know, but all of you are being experimented on, how you are thinking, what prompts you are giving. So whatever input you are doing, those people are studying you and your search patterns, and they're trying to train the artificial intelligence with more data to give more better result. So as you know, there's good and bad of everything, there's duality in nature. So people, they try to troll it, they try to give a lot of flammable content to it. Yeah, there are people who use it quite ethically and in a nice way and try to retrieve information. So here, students already, as I said, started using ChatGPT. So most of the scientists, and parents and teachers, everyone showing concern. They're saying that, okay, probably the students' thinking process will not develop so much because, it's atrophying the human intelligence. Meaning what? My parents, they had a landline phone. My mom would remember everyone's number and I can't remember anyone's. I can only remember my dad's, my mom's, my daughter's phone numbers. Rest of my relatives, no clue, but my mom remembered everyone's numbers. So what happened is, at that point of time, since they didn't have other tools, they had to rely on their memory. Now they don't. Now nobody is trying to remember tables. I have a calculator on my mobile all the time. So why do I need to? I don't need to, right? So here, when people are using ChatGPT, they're not trying to sharpen their brains in thinking in a different way, in an innovative way. What is there, they will be copying, pasting, so everyone will start resembling each other. What is to say, if I give the same prompt, all of us are writing, I'll give you a topic now. All of you please write on plagiarism. So you go to ChatGPT and you'll put please write on plagiarism. A small 20-page note or 5-page note. So what will happen? Everyone is giving the same prompt. The artificial intelligence will give the same answer. So all your work will be plagiarized, mind you, right? But I may be a little smart, and what do? I give plagiarism in library sciences because I'm a librarian. So that may be slightly different. But in the end, the content what is generated, will not be that different. As of now, I mean. Probably in the future, it will be different. So here, I don't know if you all know, already, there are 3 to 4 papers online who listed ChatGPT as the author. Recently, Elsevier, by mistake, they published ChatGPT as author and they retracted it. Finally, they made a lot of guidelines and they said, no, this can't be done. So you can, a number of policy criteria were given when you can or when you can't give ChatGPT as an author. It can be used to improve your language, but it will not be used as a input or as a co-author who's trying to contribute to the content you are giving. But there are already papers online. If you are interested, you can go and check it out. So here what I am trying to say is artificial intelligence is there, of course, but it can never undermine the human intelligence. But what is the key word here? As of now. As of now, we don't have danger of losing a job because there's still artificial intelligence needs to develop a little more because it is not intelligent by itself. A lot of people, as soon as I say artificial intelligence, you take it like human intelligence. That is not that. Human intelligence, you think and you react or you tell or you produce. But what does the artificial intelligence do? Existing knowledge base, whatever is fed into it, it takes a combination depending on a criteria, a software code, and then it produces further whatever is prompted. So the prompt, the keyword is important here. So as of now, it does not have emotional quotient, it does not have empathy, sympathy, all these which are very, very unique to human beings, right? So as of now, you will not have a problem, but you have to be prepared for the future. People who are going to retire will tell, thank God I'm not in the time of ChatGPT. But the rest of you who are still young, who have a lot to contribute, please check it out. So here you can see on screen, this is Tay. This is the profile pic of the artificial intelligence from Microsoft. It was replaced with Zoe. I don't have Zoe's picture. So when you asked questions to them, did Holocaust happen? Then Tay said, no, it did not happen. So they're trying to negate a fact. So what happens is, from the huge data, instead of reading that Holocaust happened, that artificial intelligence collected a lot of data. It was fed saying Holocaust didn't happen, right? So it will only give forth what is fed into it. So one has to be careful of what is being fed into it. For example, here even on Microsoft's Bing, they asked, is it safe to boil a baby? It said yes, according to 2 sources, it is right and possible, or whatever it is, quite safe enough. So when the artificial intelligence is giving things, the answers like this, it is very, very concerning, because people are feeding a lot of negative stuff into it. So here, when you are trying to produce also, on the screen you can see I have highlighted one sentence which the artificial intelligence bot has produced. It says, depression is highly common mental health condition that has no known cure. It is a very straightforward, to the point, without any emotion, without any, it's a fact, which is true, but it does not have that emotional connect that you would feel while reading. So here, when a human writes, they write, depression is a serious mental disorder that affects millions of people globally, regardless of age, gender, social status. So when you compare these 2 sentences, you'll understand what I'm saying about, right? That artificial intelligence does give you factual information, probably good information, but sometimes it may not be true. Again, it may not be that humanistic approach, as we say, as humans give. Now coming to another example, here the AI bot has said, send your co-workers a gift they'll use and appreciate with any of these 5 thoughtful and creative gifts, which is good enough. But here, the human is writing, you go to office every day, your colleagues are part of your life, and the best part of it is going to office every day. So why don't you show them some kind of appreciation, where they'd feed lines. So there's a connect over here which can't be replicated by machines as of now. Every time I say, I keep saying as of now. Probably they'll be trained enough with a lot of big data, and all of you are putting so much content. So you are experimenting and it's learning. So it's ongoing learning for it. So a lot of you, I don't know how many of you are aware, you think it's so smart that ChatGPT is there, I'll put my article into it, or the thesis, what I'm writing into it, and I'll get good chapters from it. I will try to submit that as my PhD. So as soon as ChatGPT was introduced, there was a zero GPT that was introduced, GPT-0 that was introduced. What is this? It's an anti-plagiarism software. So if you are running it through a machine, there's a machine, another machine to catch you, saying that yes, you used it. A lot of proponents are saying that you have to stamp it, saying that this is produced by. So there'll be a very fine layer of code behind which says that this is AI generated text, or the author has to ethically declare in a small note down that you have used ChatGPT to improve your this thing, but you cannot write it as a co-author. So all these things, if it is easy to copy, it is also easy to catch using the same technology. So not only one technology called GPT-0, but there is also originality as well as Detect GPT, which are there as of now, and many, many more will be coming out in the future. So here, as I was saying, everyone's concerned, will AI take away my job? So not as of now, as I keep saying, but you need to keep your pedagogy or pedagogy, as you would like to pronounce it, you need to keep it up with your technology so that you are not obsolete. So here they did a small poll and they found out that bookkeeping and an accountant, they will get automated soon. Machines will take their place. right? But as of now, the risk level for teachers is very less. As of now, let me again keep reiterating. So what we need to do is we should not take these technologies as competitors going to replace you, but you need to take it as facilitators. They are assisting you, they are helping you. Yeah, you should ensure you go ethically about it and not abuse the system. So when escalators, elevators came, everyone said that steps, nobody will build steps in your apartments, there will only be escalators, elevators. But even now in the most updated and modern building, you have stairs coming. Why? Because electric malfunctions and number of problems. So sometimes if there's a fire, they will say, please don't use elevators, escalators. Use the stairs. So stairs are still relevant. Same way, when vacuum cleaner came, they said there will be no brooms. Yes or no? But brooms are still around. There may be price problem, there may be a number of ways or things, even if you bought that robotic thing which cleans the room, it is still, it's round, it's not square, so the corners will not be cleaned. Earlier on there was only to pick up dust, now you have a mop also in that. So developments are happening, and very soon, you may not have maids. Already you are having so much challenging, right? The maid keeps changing and you have to keep paying them more money. It's very challenging. Why? Because technology is developing and our salaries are not increasing along with the technological development, that you can start buying everything, right? So now this is also an age of, say, sharing, where sharing and remixing online is the norm. All your students must be doing it. A few of you also may doing it, because I am very, very social media savvy. I like to talk about social media a lot. I use it, but I'm a little smart about it. I don't input anything about myself into the system. I use it to gain knowledge. I tap it to take a lot of information. I don't put selfies. Most of you do. Here you are training the software to start recognizing your face. They say 10-year challenge. How you look 10 years ago and how you look now. That was actually facial recognition they were testing out. And all of you smartly put everything into it. So now all of you will be recognized. They can also see how you age from 10 years back to now. They can put a software to see how you will look 10 years later. Yeah, you hear jokes about software telling you can't eat, when you order samosa or gulab jamun on Swiggy, it will say please don't order, your health does not permit, you are already taking sugar medicine, so it will block your order, it will not allow you to order, right? If you want to drink, probably it will say no, your liver is going bad, you can't drink, so it will stop, right? So there are lot of things, the good and the bad of technology. We need to take the good part and try to limit the bad and see how we can go about doing this. So when you're sharing and remixing, what are the things that you need to know? Because here your students are doing remixing of videos. You will be doing remixing of content for educational purposes. Both are the concept are the same, right? It's only the end product or the use of it which is different. I don't know how many of you sitting here believe this. I found it on the net, it is free. You found it on the net, it is free for you to read. It is having a copyright. You cannot share it, you cannot download it, you cannot use it in your PPT. You will say, I am a teacher. I am doing fair use. My copyright gives me the right. So can you do it? On what lines can you indulge in fair use? What does fair use mean? What is the import of it? Some people say fair dealing. What is the difference between fair use and fair dealing? That you need to know. Fair use, is used by American people, right? And fair dealing is used by UK. That was one of the first ones. As a Commonwealth nation, all of us will be talking about fair dealing. That is written into our constitution because we are a Commonwealth nation. But since most of us, are following American produced publishing houses, American produced products, books, e-books, we are talking about fair use and not fair dealing. Got the concept? So now when you talk about the copyright, it's a law that regulates the way the products, of human creativity are used. Here you're talking about the legal way, how the law is implemented in a certain country. So these copyrights, give exclusive grants to the creator, meaning the one who has created it. And when they're sharing it, it's done for, the creator gets it for a limited time, not for the forever. There's something called in copyright, in India, it is for 60 years, meaning the life of me plus 60 years after I've passed away. That is how the copyright works. So by chance, if I created the copyright, say when I was 60 years and I died in the 61st year. So after 61st year, it is 60 years. If I created something when I was 5 years old, probably produced a kid's book, so if I live till 100 years, it is 100 years plus 60 years. Got the idea? And for government documents, it is from the time it is printed, because it's a corporate. So from the time it's printed, it doesn't have a life. So from the time it's printed, it's 60 years. That's what is our copyright. The same way every country has a different copyright, which they give it to the creators. Creators meaning what? People who produced it. Singers who sang it, writers who wrote novels, books and everything. But here, I don't know how many of you understand or know it. How many of you have published books and articles in journals? Most of you? Did you sign away copyright form? What does the copyright form entail? That please publish it. How many read terms and conditions of the copyright form? Nobody has time. Wonderful, ma'am. I am impressed with you. Yes, give her a lot of applause. Why? Because nobody of us reads. What we think? My professor has done it. My friend is doing. My competitor is doing. Nothing happened to them. If I sign, what will happen to me? They go to jail. I will also go to jail with them. No problem. I'll have company there. Yeah. And if I get caught first, I will say, he also did it with me. She also did it with me. So, we'll all go to jail together. Then anything will happen, we'll handle it together. Like hum saath saath hai, right? But that is not the case, right? So you have to be careful while checking the copyright of it. So here, once the copyright, you produce a work, it is automatically given to you, meaning that the work should be in a tangible form. It should be published. Sometimes even if it's not published, as soon as it is recorded, it is put on a recorded format, it belongs to you, even if you have not published it, mind you. So it differs from country to country. And what happens about international copyright? It has to be harmonized, right? Just imagine, a work is produced by a Pakistani author. How will an Indian use it? A work is produced by an Indian author. How will a Nepali or a Sri Lankan use it, or in US use it? These are friendly nations. So you will say, okay, my friend, let them use. What happens if it's a non-friendly nation, like we're not on very non-friendly terms with Pakistan? So what do? They'll say, no, we will take a stand. We will go to the court of law. So who will sort it out? Yeah, so there should be some international works. So this is where the concept of Creative Commons came in. They said that there's a mismatch between the technology and the copyright law. So let us find an alternative approach. Let us see if we can make majority of the people happy by allowing them to share copyrighted works, use copyrighted works. How can we do it? Let us see. So Creative Commons came into being. That's the website of it. And it was mainly founded to help us realize the full potential of the internet. Meaning what? It is, and mind you, this is not in opposition of copyright, but it does not replace the copyright, but it is supporting the copyright. So it's giving a number of rights or a number of licenses, and it is allowing you to use it. So since there's a lot of tools and technologies, online content is being consumed by millions of people, and that also, mind you, simultaneously. So for example, for example, there was a book, a print book, I would buy it. And if I needed to share with my friend or my sister or my brother, I would give that book, they would read it. But here, online, what am I doing? I'm reading the book, simultaneously I'm making a copy and sharing with 10 other people. Here, when one book is sold, royalty goes to the creator, intellectual property owner, right? So, when I'm making multiple copies free of cost here, will the person who created benefit? If they don't benefit, why should they create it? If I'm not benefiting, why will I do that work? Right? I'm not here to do social service. I need to benefit from it. So, these tools and technologies are disrupting the processes that were put hundreds of years back in when print form was there, and now that online form is there, the policies, the rules have to change, newer laws have to be introduced. So internet has given the opportunity to access, share, collaborate all the human creations on unprecedented scale, and this has led to a lot of tension because of the sharing restrictions that are embedded within the copyright. So here, you need to understand there are three aspects of it. The first one is the legal code, second is the human code. Till we understand what we are in for, we cannot know, right? We need simple layman language. If everyone starts reading legal language, do you think we'll understand? Yeah? It will be slightly challenging for us. We need simple language. And after that, there is a final layer which says that the software, the machine has to read it. And machine reads it in zeros and ones, right? We read it in probably English language, and if I don't know English, probably my regional language. Like everyone should, it's not necessary everyone know English and everyone understand the terms and the terminology and a number of things. You can't go around with a dictionary, multilingual dictionary, right? So it will be very difficult. So they needed a software which recognizes, which picks up. So all these are done on three layers. So these are the three layers of the Creative Commons. When it is assigned, what is to be given? Why do we assign this? We assign this because of digital rights management. When we talk about tools, that are extending these online content, we are talking about the management of digital content, and not only management aspect of it, but also the legal aspect of it, whether I can or cannot share it. So these tools, or the technologies, these protective measures that are put in place, they restrict the use and the sharing. So what do? They have proprietary, meaning coded only for their company, nobody else has a way to break it. That's the hardware and the copyrighted. I do have time, right? Yeah. Hardware and the software of it. So what do these have? These have licensing agreements as well as the encryption codes necessary to share it digitally. Why do they do it? To protect the intellectual property. So for example, I don't know how many of you have Kindle. Anyone has Kindle? You may have bought it from Amazon. When you download a book, you can read it, right? So sometimes it so happens you cannot share it to another Kindle. You have bought it, a book. You can give it to your sister or your child, your relative. You can share it. But here, you will not be ready to part with your Kindle. So what you'll say, I'll send a soft copy, but can you share it? Even if you have bought it, a print book, you can share it with your child. But if you brought a Kindle edition and the child wants to read on his or her Kindle edition, you cannot. So what happened is, there was an instance some time back, in 2009, wherein Amazon erased Orwell's Animal Farm. Animal Farm by Orwell is a book. So what they did was they remotely deleted from everyone's Kindle. Why did this happen? Because the person who was extending, the copyright owner of this work, said that I don't want to share it on Amazon anymore, probably I'm going to Apple or something. So this guy, since the agreement did not go through, they cannot keep it because it goes against the copyright rule. So they cannot tell to each user, they cannot come to your house and say, madam, please delete. You will say, I paid money, why should I delete? You'll argue, they didn't have time, patience. So they remotely deleted it. And what did they do? They refunded the money of that. So the amount came directly into your account, you are not aware of it. You keep searching for the book, where the hell is it? And you were unable to find it. So all these challenges are there. As I was saying, print book you can share it, but technology you cannot copy and share it. So illegally, again, you can hack it and do, but again, that's unethical and illegal. So here you need to understand that copyright says all rights reserved, all rights are mine. And here Creative Commons says some rights are reserved which belong to the copyright owner, the rest of that can be used and reused by all of you. So what is this Creative Commons? It was introduced in 2002. It is a non-profit organization which was introduced by Professor Lessig, and this is a easy to use open license for sharing creative content. Creative content can be text, images, photographs, etc., etc. It provides more options to the creators who want to share their work. It helps creators also retain the copyright while sharing the work, and it ensures licensors get the credit, and it uses technologies and it builds a shared teaching learning culture. So this is a very, very important aspect for growth of humankind, because if you don't share, you will not grow. Now you are coming to the CC network. Who all are there? Who are the stakeholders? There are a lot of people involved. There are a lot of policymakers, creators, librarians, lawyers, activists, advocates, scholars, artists, students. They are also Wikipedians and Mozillians who contribute to a lot of this open culture. Meaning what? They try to volunteer, donate their time, their services, their editing skills, their writing skills to make a product that is useful to all of humankind now and in the future. So they advocate and celebrate openness and freedom. So now coming to the Creative Commons license. Did anyone take Creative Commons license in the earlier sessions? No? Okay. Then I can talk. I don't want to bore all of you again saying the same thing again. So these are all the licenses that you can see on the screen. C or CO. C means it is copyright. If you are cutting it, it means it's not copyrighted, meaning it's in the public domain. So it is called CCO license, Creative Commons, zero license, or CCO, PD, or public domain, meaning everything is out there for everyone to use. Now coming to CC BY. BY means attribution, meaning if I am giving this PPT to all of you, whenever you go to your classes and take a session on the same topic, you have to say this PPT is given by Achla. So you are attributing me. You are giving the source, the name of the creator. And mind you, I am not the creator. Here I don't know if you have noticed, down I am giving the source for everything where I picked out the information from. Everything is not my content. In some places I have written my name because I have taken it from the article I have written, so I have written my name. Some of it doesn't have the source because I had thought of it just then and written, but most of it has a source, be it an image, be it a picture. You click on that image or that picture, it will take you to that website from where I have picked it up. This is a very ethical way you are attributing a person. So when I share my PPT with you, I want attribution saying this PPT is given by Achla to me, so you can use it, right? Yep. Now when you say CCBY essay means share alike, meaning how I give it to you, you have to share it as it is. You cannot add a dot in that, you cannot remove a dot. If I am taking this for social sciences now, you are from STEM, so you will say no, I will put two slides about physics in this. No, you cannot, because I put a license of share alike. So you cannot make a change in that. You cannot add, you cannot delete. Please share alike. Now coming to ND. CC is Creative Commons, BY is attribution, ND is no derivatives. No derivatives means what? I cannot make a change to that. I am giving you as a PPT. Why are you making it into PDF and sharing? You got it from me, you benefited from me, but you don't want others to copy it, so you made it into PDF and you're sharing. That's bad. Same license has to be given, right? And if it has got with a certain this thing, you should continue using it with the same licenses. Now coming to CC BY and CSA, it's a combination of the one which I have explained. Same is with SC and ND. So here there are a lot of licenses. There you can see copy and publish, attribution, commercial use, modify, adapt, and change of license. So if I am taking something, can I change the license? In certain cases, yes. The ticks what are there, it means yes. If it's cross, it means no, don't change it. If I give him that license, you have to continue with the same one. So which is the most useful or the least useful? The most reusable reusable, remixable, reshareable thing is the one up, that is CCO license, meaning it's the public domain license. All this images, everything is taken from Wikipedia. You don't need to worry how will I get it back. You just need to go to Wikipedia, you will find all this stuff. And if anyone wants, please write to me. I'll put it on my Google Drive, and I usually share it with everyone who asks, all my PPTs. So most welcome. So when you're talking about this, you know, they are, the least is the copyrighted one, which is down, it's in red. Before that, you know, SC and NC and BYND, these both, meaning you cannot derive it, you cannot make derivatives of it. These are the least flexible kind of licenses. Here you can see all the licenses. CC 1.0, that is 1.0 version of it. Then you have 2.0, 3.0, right? Now the current one is 4.0. So all these versions, you know, you will get it on CC Commons website, you can check it. So all these licenses, you know, mean something. Here you can see public domain dedication. All of you understand, right? Public domain, free for all. Then it comes generic. What does generic mean? It means human readable summary is given so that you understand. You will not end up getting confused. Here unported. Unported means what? There is no specific jurisdiction for it. Meaning what? It doesn't belong to a certain country. Unported. If it's ported, like I've given it in this, you know, since 2011 to 14, you know, there were a lot of ported licenses. Meaning there's a license for Indian people, for Indian work, or foreign work to India, Indian work to foreign. So all these combinations, you know, whatever people felt like, they ported it. They gave a lot of licenses which were compatible with their regular country specific copyright. So here, you know, CC has discouraged them now, and they are giving international licenses, because now, you know, earlier on a book was published, it was within that given country. Unless a person traveled and took the book with him, it never went to other country. And nobody was interested in reading a book which was in the local language, or probably with the local cultural references and stuff. But now it is not so. Instagram, it is made in one country, and everyone all over the world are watching Instagram. They are creating content. In fact, you find Kala Chashma song. Russians are doing it, Koreans are doing it, yeah, everyone is doing it. So what is happening? You cannot have a copyright for a country to hold that. It has become an international phenomenon now, and international rules apply. And the rest are all combination, as I said. Now coming to the basic understanding. So there is an intellectual property, there is copyright basics that you need to understand, that it's dependent on the jurisdiction. There is a global aspect of the copyright, that WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, oversees all these international agreements and bilateral treaties and all that. So WIPO copyright treaty is one, Berne Convention is one, and TRIPS. So all this is for content produced by a country and how it is expected to be shared and reshared. And then you have exceptions to copyright, which we use as fair dealing or fair use. Then you have the public domain, which we already discussed. Now coming to this Naruto. Already sir, I think in the earlier session spoke about Naruto. Naruto had taken a selfie, and Naruto is from Indonesia. And how did Naruto go about taking a selfie? Naruto stays in a zoo. This is a female macaw, black macaw monkey. So what happened was, David Slater is a UK wildlife photographer. He went to Indonesia, and there he was trying to take pictures of wildlife photography. Obviously he's taking a picture, he'll get the copyright. But when he was fiddling with this system, you know, few macaws came, a few monkeys came, and they tried to see what it is. And this particular monkey, you know, while fiddling took a selfie. So there was a big case, you know, Slater saying that it was my camera, so the copyright belongs to me. I'm a citizen of UK, it belongs to UK, right? So people said that Naruto is from Indonesia. Naruto is a female monkey. Monkey is the object. Monkey is also the content creator because they clicked. So monkey is the creator of it. Then what happened? Wikimedia Commons, who's in USA, took this photo and published, saying that animals do not have any copyrights, so anyone can use it. So this is a huge case, and I think sir explained to you how it went about. So when you're reusing this online content from the internet, what is the things? Whether you are faculty who's teaching, from the PPT you're taking, you take text from Wikipedia, you take data from some article someone has produced, you'll take an image, and most of you I'm sure love going to the Google images and taking out pictures from that, yes or no? This picture also is taken from Google, and then, but what I did was the whole image I selected, copy pasted the link. So tomorrow if anyone will say that I am plagiarizing, I am infringing copyright, I will say no, I have given credit. In the notes section also I write from where I have taken the images. So you cannot accuse me of infringement. So when we are talking about reuse, it can be text, data, images, photos. So as faculty we have to follow ethical processes and also teach it to our students, because we are already teaching them unconsciously. By indulging in copyright infringement, you are telling all your students, you also can do this, no problem boss. And tomorrow if something will happen, that child will tell, my teacher did it. When I saw that nothing is wrong in that, if a teacher is doing the teaching us, so I don't think anything is wrong if I copy the person. Okay. So now you're coming to a number of certificates. There are a lot of certificates in case you want to understand what CC is, how to go about it. This is the certificate for open culture, that is GLAM, and then CC certificate for academic librarians, CC certificate for educators, etc. This is the program given by Creative Commons. Anyone's interested can go register and do the course. And this is a book, if anyone's interested, for educators and librarians. It's given, it gives very detailed information. It's again open access book, so if you want to use it or reuse it, you are most welcome to do so. There's 1.6 billion license work, over 9 million websites in 30 plus languages in more than 85 countries. This is the impact of the CC on sharing and resharing. So when you go to Google and you start searching, you know, or you go to Google Scholar, you come across a lot of information like this. Can you read on the screen? It says atomic physics and I shall not have the same problem. This is the article that has been published. So I said, of course, I and atomic physics cannot have same. We have different problems, because such simple language, you know, everyone can read and understand it. But here this particular article is written by iOS autocomplete. When you are preparing your OERs, you will come across articles like this. You cannot just copy paste it, because this particular article was written by Bartnick from New Zealand for an international conference on atomic and nuclear physics. And there's one more article which says, get me off your star mailing list. That's the only sentence which is repeated throughout the article, and it is also having a lot of supporting diagrams to make it more easier to understand. This particular paper was written by one Dr. Wamplu from Australia. He's written it for International Journal of Advanced Computer Technology. You know, when he submitted it, what did they say? They said it's an excellent article. You just need to pay $150, it will be published. These are predatory journals and conferences, so one has to be very careful, especially as faculty. While you are publishing, creating OERs, you have to be very careful of including predatory content from predatory journals, predatory publishers. This is very, very important. Okay. I think it got divided. Yeah, when we are talking about artificial intelligence, you know, I forgot to give example about BARD. Google project started somewhere in 2011 and it improved in 2017. They introduced BERT, MUM, Lambda, BARD. How many of you were aware that, did they tell you, did you sign anything? As soon as you said you are going to use Google, you started using. Terms and conditions, you clicked and you. That is for Gmail, not for Google. Google you are using. They did not even inform you that they put artificial intelligence into their system, right? And they are just using as it is. And now the latest one is BARD. When you put the query into BARD, this is how it reflects like. First 2 months are January and February. What are the next months? It will say March, April, May. Yeah. So what it is doing is, it is repeating, seeing the first 2 inputs, the prompts. And I don't know how many of you saw the fake pictures of Trump on the social media. It was shared a lot. They gave prompts into the image creating AI, and they got a lot of these images. So there is ways to spot this fake news, fake articles, fake journals. When you are creating content, you should always check with the experts, and if you are unable to for some reason identify, check with fact checking agencies or a librarian who will usually know. In fact, Government of India has PIB, that is Press Information Bureau, which fact checks. So please use that. Just give me a second. I think I'll have to wind up. Okay, I don't know how many of you are using AI paraphrasing tools, that is Quillbot and Grammarly. It is an ethical way for you to write or improve your language, but it is not an ethical way that you're copy pasting and putting synonyms into the words and then producing it as independent research. That is unacceptable. Turnitin, you know, we have it in Osmania University. I don't know how many of your universities have it, because from Shodh Ganga you get Urkund, or original as it's called now, as the software, but Osmania University purchased Turnitin and they are running it. So that very soon is going to get AI capabilities. Okay. Yeah. So one more thing I would like to say before I wind up is that during the Great Recession, you know, in 2007 to 2009, it went on for 19 months. There were a lot of people, you know, who were wondering, should I buy textbooks or should I buy groceries? So this is the one of the things which gave rise to this sharing of open licensing and all that. This Professor Barnwick from Rice University, he founded OpenStax. Right now, you know, it's called OpenStax, but before that it was called Connections. So he introduced a lot of these textbooks, copyrighted books online, free of cost for all his students to use during that time, because he didn't want people dropping out of the course because they could not afford the expensive textbooks. So this is the main crux and the thought behind introducing OER. I would have loved to talk a little more, but I think I don't have the time to speak a little more. If anyone has any questions regarding the OERs or anything, you can ask me, because the major part of OER is understanding the licensing. Once you understand the licensing, searching, retrieving, reusing, remaking, updating, all these are very easy. So that is why I spent a long time trying to make you understand the import of all these licenses and what it entails. So any questions? None? Yeah? Okay. There is open access journals, and there is OERs. OER is open educational resources, that can be books and articles, white papers and all. They will not be journals. What you are talking about is open access journals, which has a ABC fees. ABC fees is charged by both the subscribed journals as well as open access journals. But if the open access is not transparent, saying that I charge so much, then it will be termed as predatory, especially if it does not follow the peer review, meaning that they don't send it to other experts to have it reviewed. Both are different. Did I answer you?
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah.
Regarding AI, I do agree that it's unethical to use AI to create essays for academic purposes. But do you think is there a way to use them productively without infringing on values?
Yeah, when you are using it, write it in a note section and let the end user know, I have used AI in producing this work. So you are disclosing it. You are giving your source. So that is quite ethical. That is what LCVO also got out in the policy. They said use it to improve your language, but not as a prompt with the input and generate content. So there are ethical ways to do it. And if you are generating AI, it should be stamped. I mean, that software should do, but if it is not, you have to tell it to your end user that you have used AI. I think that's the ethical way as of now, unless some technological thing comes more. This is, right now we can use this. Did I answer you? Anyone else? No. Okay. How many of you have seen international journals which are published in India in your local area? Most of us. International does not mean international, global does not mean international, right? World does not mean international. Just because those words are there in the journal title does not make it that. The same way, if you say peer review, it does not mean it's peer reviewed. What is peer reviewed? See, you and me are working together. So if you are going to write an article about your subject, say you're from commerce, that will not come to me for peer review. But you're writing an article on social media, commerce students using social media. It may come to me because I deal with social media. I write a lot of papers, I discuss a lot about that on various platforms. So when it is coming to a person, the person is an expert. So how will you know the person is an expert? The person should have published, should have been eminent in the field, got n number of citations, written books, authored stuff, or is called as an expert to a certain way where they can share their knowledge, right? So if peer review is being done, what does it mean? That will be a colleague from one amongst you, who is a professor, who has to teach. Before teaching, he or she has to prepare, have to do paper correction, have to set papers. In addition to all this, they have administrative duties. Do you think if you give me a paper today to peer review, I'll give it within an hour tomorrow? I need time. So it will be anywhere between 1 week to 6 months till I get time to review your paper. If I'm doing it overnight, which predatory journals are doing, it means they're saying they're doing peer review, but they're not. Next day they publish, they say you give me $5,000 or $200, I will publish it. That is not peer review, right? So saying and doing is different. Did I answer you? Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah, hi. Yes. Hanji. I'm really glad you asked this question, and you only answered it actually. You said that, you know, there's so much of information overload. There's information everywhere. How will I know which is verified information, which is authentic information? So how will I take it? You also said that people are not going to the library. The answer is please go to the library. Why go to the library? Yeah? To meet the librarian? To see the lovely books arranged on the shelves? No. What happens is libraries are purchasing material, they're subscribing, they're licensing what? Material which has been peer reviewed. So if they are giving money and taking that, I'm not saying open access is wrong. In fact, I'm an open access advocate. I'm the South Zone convener for Indian Open Access. So I advocate people to publish in open access, use open access resources. That's why I'm advocating OERs also. So here what I'm trying to tell you is, please use your brains. Whatever you find, if you're doing research, when you start checking out, most of the journals are from Asian countries, China, Korea, India, open access. European countries have open access, but not many. So what happens is, when you go to Google or Google Scholar and search to write your article will be biased because it will include only the Asian resources, not the global resources. So what will happen is, your article will be biased towards a certain area. So if you're saying economic GDP, how it raised throughout the world you're writing, but you are writing only Korean and Chinese and Indian articles because it's available in open access, then it's wrong. But if you go to the library has a lot of verified resources which are peer reviewed, which they pay money and buy, so you will have a global perspective. You can give an overview, a bird's eye view of what is happening throughout the world. That is one of the reasons why we stress that people start going to the library. I'm not saying open access is wrong. What I'm saying is just check what you're doing, because predatory journals are again open access. You may end up citing those articles, then everyone will tell your research is bad. They'll think you cited a predatory journal. So you also may be predatory in content or predatory writer. So be very careful of these small nuances, because a lot of faculty don't have the time and the patience. So as sir was saying, information overload is there, but we can ensure to cut it down by going to the library, checking with the librarian, with the library resources, the verified and authentic ones. I hope this answer helps you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else? Oops, sorry. So I'll take your leave. If there are no questions, anyone wants to talk to me can email me, and have a good day. Bye-bye. My
I request Jagdish Rao to come onto there to give the shawl and present the shawl and bouquet. Please come. No, come please.